What's up, Naga? Hey, man, I love you, man. Welcome back. Welcome back to the road trip, man. That's right, Kingdom Builder Road Tripper. That's right, Akeem, Akatim, brothers and sisters, mothers, fathers, aunties, and uncles, grandmas and grandpas, man. Shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings to each and every single one of you, man. Your homes, your dwelling places, like where you live at, right? Loved ones, friends, and the pets, man. Little fur babies, fur nagas. That's right, man. That's right. I love y'all, man. One love. All praises to the Most High. Abba Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. That's right. All praises to Yahweh, the overseer. Glory to Yahweh Shai, the king. Honors to the Ruach HaKodesh. Wisdom. My love and my respect goes out to each and every single one of you, kingdom builders, aka road trippers. You road trippers. Love y'all, man. All pleasant, excuse me, Salake. Salake. All pleasantries out the side, man, right? Now, we're in First Maccabees. We're back, man. All right, we are back. Give me chapter 10, though. All right. You got some scrolls? You got scrolls? If you want, you can go ahead and put them on your lap. Go ahead and read along with me. If not, then hey, man, who really cares? Because I'm going to read it for you. Just hope that I get it right. You know, chapter 10 is a long buddy boy, man. It's very long. All right. You ready for this? All right. Let's do this, man. All right. First Maccabees, chapter 10. Let's begin. I love you. Let's go. All right, man. Chapter 10, and it reads, And in the 160th year, Alexander Epiphanes, the son of Antiochus, went up and took possession of Ptolemais, and they received him, and he reigned there. And King Demetrius heard thereof, and gathered together exceedingly great forces, and went to meet him in battle. And Demetrius sent letters to Jonathan with words of peace, as to magnify him. For he said, Let's go beforehand to make peace with them, before he makes peace with Alexander against us. For he will remember all the evils that we have done against him, and to his kindred, and to his nation. And he gave him authority to gather together forces, and to provide arms, and that he should be his ally. And he commanded that he should deliver up to him the hostages that were in the citadel. And Jonathan came to Jerusalem and read the letters in the audience of the people and of those who were in the citadel. And they were sore afraid when they heard that the king had given him authority to gather together an army. And they of the citadel delivered up the hostages to Jonathan, and he restored them to their parents. And Jonathan lived in Jerusalem and began to build and renew the city. And he commanded those who did work to build the walls of Mount Zion round about with square stones for defense. And they did so. And the strangers that were in the strongholds, which Bacchides had built, fled away. And each man left his place and departed into his own land. Only at Bethsura were there left certain of those that had forsaken the law of the commandments, for it was a place of refuge to them. Okay, family? Okay, family. I love you, man. I love you. Verse 15, and it reads, And King Alexander heard all the promises which Demetrius had sent to Jonathan, and they told him of the battles and the valiant deeds which he and his kindred had done, and of the toils which they had endured. And he said, Will we find such another man? Will we find such another man? And now we will make him our friend and ally. And he wrote letters and sent them to him according to those words, saying, King Alexander, to his brother Jonathan, greeting. We have heard of you. We've heard of you, that you are a mighty man of valor and meet to to be our friend, right? Appropriate to be our friend. And now we have appointed you this day to be high priest of your nation, and to be called the king's friend. And he sent to him a purple robe and a crown of gold, and to take our part, and to keep friendship with us. And Jonathan put on the Kodesh garments in the 7th month, in the 160th year of the Feast of Tabernacles, and he gathered together forces and provided arms in abundance. And Demetrius heard these things, and he was grieved and said, "What is this that we have done? That Alexander has been beforehand with us in establishing friendship with the Yahudim to strengthen himself? Huh? I also will write to them words of encouragement and of honor and of gifts, and they may be with me to aid me." And he said to them according to these words, "King Demetrius, of the nations of the Yahudim, greetings. Forasmuch as you have kept your covenants with us, and continued in our friendship, and have not joined yourselves to our enemies, we have heard of this, and are glad. And now continue you still to keep faith with us, and we will recompense to you good things in return for your dealings with us, for your good dealings, your good tidings, your good dealings with us, family." All right, you paying attention? All right, 28. "And will grant you many immunities, and give you gifts. And now do I free you, and release all the Yahudim from the tributes, and from the customs of salt, and from the crowns. And instead of the 3rd part of the seed, and instead of the half of the fruit of the trees, which fall to me to receive, I release it from this day and from now on, so that I will not take it from the land of Yahudah, and from the 3 governments which are added thereto, from the country of Samaria and Galilee, from this day out and for all time, and let Jerusalem be Kodesh and free, and her borders the 10th, and the tolls also. I yield up also my authority over the citadel which is at Jerusalem, and give it to the high priest, that he may appoint it in such men as he will choose to keep it. And every soul of the Yahudim that has been carried captive from the land of Yahudah into any part of my kingdom, I set a liberty without price, and let all remit, and tributes of their cattle also, and all the feasts of the Shabbats, and the new moons, and the appointed days, and 3 days there before a feast, and 3 days after a feast, let them all be days of immunity and release for all the Yahudim that are in my kingdom. And no man will have authority to exact from any of them, or to trouble them concerning any matter. And let there be enrolled among the king's forces about 30,000 men of the Yahudim, and pay will be given to them as belongs to all the king's forces." All right, let's read, man. All right, let's get ready to read. All right, let's read. 37, and it reads, "And of them some will be placed in the king's great strongholds, and some of them will be placed over the affairs of the kingdom, which are of trust. And let those that are over them and their rulers be of themselves, and let them walk after their own laws, even as the king has commanded in the land of Yahudah. And the 3 governments that have been added to Judea from the country of Samaria, let them be added to Judea. Let they may be reckoned to be under one, and they may not obey another authority than the high priests. As for Ptolemaeus and the land pertaining thereto, I have given it to a gift to the sanctuary that is in Jerusalem, for the expenses that befit the sanctuary. And I give every year 15,000 shekels of silver from the king's revenues, from the places that are convenient, and all the overplus, which those who manage the king's affairs paid not in, as in the first years, they will give from now on toward the works of the house." You paying attention? "And besides this, the 5,000 shekels of silver, which they received from the uses of the sanctuary from the revenue year by year. This also is released because it appertains to the priests that minister. And whosoever will flee to the temple that is in Jerusalem, and be found within all the borders thereof, whether one owes money to the king or any other matter, let him go free, and all that they have in my kingdom. And for building and renewing of the works of the sanctuary, an expense will be given also out of the king's revenue. Are you paying attention? And for the building of the walls of Jerusalem, and for the fortifying thereof round about, will the expense be given also out of the king's revenue, and for the building of the walls of Judea. Now, when Jonathan and the people heard these words, they gave no credence to them, nor received them, because they remembered the great evil which he had done in Yasharel, and that he had afflicted them very sore. And they were well pleased with Alexander, because he was the first that spoke words of peace to them, and they were allies with him always. And King Alexander gathered together. He's a Greek, right? He's a Greek, man. And King Alexander gathered together great forces and encamped near Demetrius. And the two kings joined battle, and the army of Alexander fled, and Demetrius followed after him and prevailed against him. And he strengthened the battle exceedingly until the sun went down, and Demetrius fell that day. And Alexander sent ambassadors to Ptolemy, king of Mizraim, according to these words, saying, Forasmuch as I am returned to my kingdom, and am set on the throne of my fathers, and have gotten the dominion, and have overthrown Demetrius, and have gotten possessions of our country. Yes, I joined the battle with him, and he and his army were discomfited by us, and we sat upon the throne of his kingdom. Now also let's make friends with one another, and give me now your daughter to wife, and I will be joined with you, and will give both of you and your gifts worthy of you. And Ptolemy the king answered, saying, Happy is the day wherein you did return into the land of your fathers, and did sit on the throne of your kingdom, of their kingdom. And now I will do to you as you have written, but meet me at Ptolemais, and we may see one another, and I will join with you, even as you have said. And Ptolemy went out of Mizraim, even to Cleopatra, yep, his daughter. Wow, we're talking, oh my goodness. And Ptolemy went out of Mizraim, Egypt, right? Himself and Cleopatra, his daughter, and came to Ptolemais, and in the 162nd year. And King Alexander met him, and he bestowed on him his daughter Cleopatra, and celebrated her wedding at Ptolemais with great pomp, and as the matter of king is. And King Alexander wrote to Jonathan, and that he should come and meet him. Wow, come to the wedding. Whoa, boy! All right, that's the end of 59. All right, hold on. We're still reading. I want to interject. Oh my goodness, you can clearly see how history is all wrapped up in scripture, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you've heard about in your history book, there's a biblical background behind it. Pay attention. Verse 60, and it reads, And he went with pomp to Ptolemais, and met the two kings, and gave them and their friends silver and gold and many gifts, and found favor in their sight. And there were gathered together against him certain pestilent fellows out of Yasharel, men that were transgressors of the law, to complain against him. And the kings gave no heed to them. And the king commanded, and they took off Jonathan's garments, and clothed him in purple. And so they did. And the king made him sit with him, and said to his princes, Go out with him into the midst of the city, and make proclamation that no man complain against him or any manner, and let no man trouble him for any manner of cause. And it came to pass, when those who complained against him saw his glory, according to the herald made proclamation, he saw him clothed in purple, and they all fled away. And the king gave him honor, and wrote him among the chief friends, and made him a captain and governor in a province. And Jonathan returned to Jerusalem with peace and gladness. And in the 150th threescore-and-fifth year, Demetrius, son of Demetrius, oh boy, is a junior, out of the Crete into the land of his fathers. And King Alexander heard thereof, and he grieved exceedingly, and returned to Antioch. And Demetrius appointed Apollonius, who was over Colysyria, and he gathered together a great army and encamped in Jamnia, and sent to Jonathan the high priest, saying, You alone lift up yourself against us, but I am had in derision and in reproach because of you. And why do you vaunt your power against us in the mountains? Now therefore, in your trust in your forces, come down to us into the plain, and there let's try the matter together. For with me is the power of the cities. Verse 72, and it reads, Ask and learn who I am, and the rest that help us. And they say, Your foot can't stand before our face, for your fathers have been twice put to flight in their own land. And now you will not be able to withstand the horse and such an army as this in the plain, where is neither stone nor flint, nor place to flee to. He said, I'm going to get you, Naga. All right, 74, and it reads, Now when Jonathan heard the words of Apollonius, he was moved in his mind, and he chose out 10,000 men and went out from Jerusalem. And Simon his brother met him to help him, and he encamped against Joppa. And they of the city shut him out, because Apollonius had a garrison in Joppa, and they fought against it. And they of the city were afraid, and opened to him. And Jonathan became master of Joppa. And Apollonius heard, and he gathered an army of 3,000 horse and a great army, and went to Azotus, as though he were on a journey, and therewithal drew onward into the plain. Salake, y'all. Salake, man. I'm stuttering. Just pay attention, all right? Bear with me. Onward into the plain, because he had a multitude of horse, and trusted therein. And he pursued after him to Azotus, and the armies joined battle. And Apollonius had left 1,000 horse behind him privily. And Jonathan knew that there was an ambush behind him, and they compassed round his army, and cast their darts at the people from morning until evening. Okay? All right, just bear with me, man. I'm almost done. All right, just bear with me, family. I'm stuttering. I feel it. It's kicking in. Okay. All right, family. Just bear with me. All right, here we go. Verse 81, and it reads, But the people stood still as Jonathan commanded them, and their horses were wearied. And Simon drew out his army and joined battle with the phalanx, for the horsemen were spent, and they were discomfited by him and fled. And the horsemen were scattered in the plain, and they fled to Azotus, and entered into Beth Dagon, their idol's temple, to save themselves. And Jonathan buried Azotus and the surrounding cities. He burned them. Salake. He burned Azotus and the surrounding cities, and took their spoils in the temple of Dagon. And those who fled unto it, he burned with fire. And those who had fallen by the sword, with those who were burned, with about 8,000 men. And from there Jonathan left, and encamped against Ascalon. And they of the city came out to meet him with great pomp. And Jonathan, with those who were on his side, returned to Jerusalem, having many spoils. And see, he took after his brother Judas Maccabees, bro. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Maccabees, man. Man, he's a strong Naga, bro. I like him a lot. Right? And it came to pass, when King Alexander heard these things, he honored Jonathan yet more, and he sent him and a buckle of gold, as the use is to give to such are of a kindred of the kings. And he gave to him Ekron and all the coast thereof for a possession. He gave him a whole city, man. That's the end of chapter 10, family. That's a long buddy boy, man. That was a long runner, man. Long runner. And 11's going to be the same way, just like her little sister. Man, it's going to be crazy. It's a long runner. 11's gonna be long. That's a standalone. We're not packing these ones together no more. Not right now. No, man. That'd be a 50-minute video. You kidding me? That's crazy. No, not for us. This is a speed run, man. This is the road trip, man. We're not here for 40-minute videos. You know what I mean? Now, we got a lot of brothers and sisters out here who do great job on the long runners, right? On the endurance runs. That's not this program over here. We're out here to get it, get in, get out, get the next one, and keep it moving, man. Stay faithful, stay up, right? Stay focused, man. Have some endurance in life. Things aren't always gonna be easy, man. You're gonna get your fair shake of crap, man. Fair shake of just, basically effery. You know what I mean? We all get our shake, man. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. It is what it is. You got to be able to laugh things off, man. You got to be able to laugh at things, right? Because at the end of the day, man, all of this is just, it's all the script. Sure, right? It's all the script. It's all written. We're just playing our part, man. We're just all actors in just one big movie, bro. That's all this is. Make sure that you're on the right side of history when this is all done, though. That's all I gotta say. In the meantime, in between time, man. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Peace and blessings to each and every single one of you, man. Your homes, your dwelling places, your children, all that good stuff, man. The stuff that you need in your life, Mishpaka. You know I love you. And if no one else has told you today, well, you heard it from me. I love you. I'll talk to you soon, man. All praises to the Most High. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Ruach Hagadesh, man. My love, my respect goes out to each and every single one of you, Yasharel, man. Yahudim, man. You my Yahudi, my Naga. Yeah, that's right, Bob.